Hi guys, Mark here, MMR Trains and More. Thanks for stopping in today. We've got kind of a grab bag today, a shorter video. The main objective of this video is to prove that I'm actually building the grain elevator and we're actually making progress. And I'm happy to report, here it stands on the layout. Of course, none of the scenery is done around it. Details to add yet, of course, and most importantly, the signage on the side. And right now I'm kind of kicking around either using a very thin vinyl lettering that would work, or trying to find suitable decals or making some decals up for it based off of those vinyl letters. Now of course, in real life, of course, I believe the signage was painted on the building, and therefore you'd have a lot of, of course the lettering would dip in between the ridges here on the siding. But from the distance that the viewer is from the building and the thinness of that vinyl, I don't know if you'd really notice it too much. So I'm going to try a testing of it. They're basically peel and stick, so if I don't like it, I'll peel them off. And we'll see what it looks like. You know, other than that, I could use those letterings and do the old technique of painting, in this case black, on the siding, and then sticking the letters down and then painting some fresh, grayish silver around it and then pulling that vinyl letter off. That's a good technique that works. We'll see what happens, but I'm happy with where we're at on the project. We had a kind of a mixed bag of material we used for this. The first item was the roofing material from Northeastern. Not really planning on using this stuff, kind of old school, a little difficult to cut and work with compared to, again, evergreen styrene makes a nice standing seam metal roof. But since the building is kind of into the backdrop and it's not really up close for viewing, it is more than acceptable at this distance, and I think it turned out really nice. The siding itself on the building, again, a mix of the old Campbell style aluminum sheathing, and then of course the more modern metal siding, styrene again from evergreen. Now this stuff, of course, I scored it to kind of represent sheathing, if you will, more like the Campbell product. I didn't go too deep with it, and frankly, at about 3 feet or so that the model is away from the aisle, not really too noticeable. I thought about rescoring it a little bit and adding a few deeper lines. There's a few on there that went a little bit deeper, but nothing crazy. So yeah, I think I'm just going to leave it. Again, the further back you are from the object, the less you would see of this type of detail anyway. So I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. There's another source I found, and I saved the article, of course, at the time from the newspaper. Sad, I suppose, more or less, when they took the building down. The owner of the building at the time was still paying the Wisconsin Central Limited, the Wisconsin Central, the newer version, if you will, the Ed Burkhart version. They apparently owned the property, and I don't know if they leased the building to the operator at the time, or if Northern Elevator was part of the Wisconsin Central when they built to Manitowoc. You have to remember that it was actually the Wisconsin Central that built into Manitowoc, not the Sioux line. As you see in the picture here, kind of raised it with dynamite. Didn't take a lot of dynamite, but there again, I don't know if anyone really was thinking about the amount of fire that would happen after the explosion, the combustibility of this thing. You know, it looks like old sheet metal or whatever. It's going to fall into a heap and they're going to haul it away. But again, these old farm barns and buildings and things with grain and sawdust through the years, it's a combustible operation. Now, if you would be so kind to subscribe to my channel, I'd appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in today, and we'll see you down the rails.